back, everybody. It is the Working Brother back at you with another talk. Yet again, we've got Philip. How you doing, Philip?
I'm doing pretty well. Unless you keep mirroring me, and I'll be looking like when I look this way, I look this way. So it's kind of weird for me.
It's mirrored. It's mirrored because of Telegram, and I think it's on your side that you can change the settings within Telegram because. The video, well, actually the video here is also mirrored in the thing, but don't worry, the actual recording won't be mirrored. Long time no speak. How you doing?
Doing pretty much well. So
unless
it's getting worse and worse each year, as I said before.
Are you enjoying the apocalypse?
Doing it since whatever year I started talking about it.
So nothing new for you. It's like season 8 for you, right?
Yeah, it's just another season. Maybe I was keeping videos production and naming these videos like what's gonna happen this year, what's gonna happen this year, and I was thinking that it's useless because all I was saying in years before is just repeating, and the cycle is just ongoing. So basically, if you don't wake up me in the morning like you did today, so I'll be looking a lot better and maybe more optimistic on what's going on. But currently, I just remember what I was saying before, and that makes me very, I would say, boring because I'm going to be speaking about the same things. So.
Maybe people who stumble across this video have not seen our talks that we had before. And in any case, before we get started, I just want to throw out the disclaimer that this is a comedy show and nothing we discuss here has anything to do with reality. Now that that's out of the way, we can get into some of the fun topics that we have lined up for today. One of the topics and one of the most current things going on, which is actually going on as we speak, is the anti-air stuff that you sent me. This is Tel Aviv.
I think it's like a long exposure shot, as you can see. So you have the trajectory. So basically, this video, this image just represents of our negligence, our inability to think. Because if we start something, we have to think about consequences. So basically, when you start talking about, economic crisis, you have to understand that you have to keep your money somewhere when it's going to be safe. When you start a war, you have to think about what you're going to do with your people, with your folks, your nation. Where are you going to save all this stuff? Because other sides is going to be responding.
Speaking of what are you gonna do with your people? I don't know if you heard, but Netanyahu made it illegal for the settlers to be leaving. Like he made the Israeli airlines not take local citizens, which is like, you cannot leave.
Well, I don't know, but he had a very good chance leaving. I think I was reading in the news somewhere that he took off immediately when he was aware that Iran was sending the first wave. So he took off immediately and started, cruising in his plane while the others took chances on the ground.
He went to Greece, among other places, I think, from what we've seen on the telegrams so far. How do you? I discussed
a lot of residences, yeah. So they have a lot of homes. They can go anywhere unless you are rich. You cannot do that.
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to point out, because you mentioned it is morning, which is as strange for me as it is for you. We had like a miscommunication, basically. I was planning to record at 9 p.m. tonight, and you were already awake at 9 in the morning, and you messaged me, and I was awake by some miracle, so here we are recording. But yeah, it's good to be back talking with you. There's many things that you sent along, and let me see if I can find the actual one that I want. Not this. This. You sent me this. Iran-Israel war. Convert words to numbers with
it's an old one, because I was checking it like couple of years ago when it all started with Gaza
Mm.
and all that stuff. So basically, yes, it's scripted. It's just another show. It's just like having, like Rambo 1, Rambo 2, Rambo 3, Rambo 4, Rambo 5. So it's gonna keep going in circles. So
So do you think this is the end of Israel? Do you think this is the like you know that Albert Pike um, letter? I was gonna say email, but it wasn't an email. It was a letter. The Albert Pike supposedly fake letter that describes World War III, where the Muslims and the Christians team up on the settlers. let's call them like that. You think
I
this
think
is
it's
what
just
we're
a game
seeing?
of no, not yet. I think it's just a game of distraction. So currently, we must not look at some certain events that are happening. It's just Basel III that is going to be implemented in July, I think, in the United States. When it's going to be on,
What's Basel?
Bas
What's Basel three? Yeah, like I'm
yeah, just
pretending I don't know, but like tell like people who are watching.
basically it's a revaluation of banking, financial instruments. So gold is returning to the system. So when it's on, we're gonna see the rise of price, probably to $4,000 per ounce. I think even more. I was
So you're
saying
saying
about that, like,
it's like the opposite of Bretton Woods, basically. Like they're gonna undo Bretton Woods.
not really. It's just read it. It's gonna take me too long, and I'm not that good in English. You just read the title. So basically, the gold becomes more valuable for the banks, and they can use it all the way. They're already using it. That's why the price is rising from 1,017 $700 per ounce. When I was started talking about that, it rose to 2000 right now. I can look up actually
Um,
what it is currently.
yeah,
What's the price?
I think I saw it over the 2000 mark after the Iran.
No, it's not currently. It's
Yeah,
3,400.
3,000. That's what I thought. I was
Yeah.
gonna
So
say over 3,000, but then that sounded extreme. But like, yeah, it's over 3,400 currently, huh?
yeah, when I
And
was starting talking about it, it was. Let's see. I'm just looking at the graph so I can be more consistent. It was year 2020, so it was around $1,900. It rose to $2,000, 20, then it stabilized at below 2,000, and now you see from the 2023, you see huge spike towards 2025, and it's basically added up 1,500. So probably you can see it coming more to the top of maybe 4,000, $5,000 per ounce. So that's just not be dreaming, but we have to see the graph. You can look at the graph, you see the technical analysis of it.
mm,
It's going up. It's skyrocketing, I would say. So what is gonna happen? Basically, we see revaluation of financial instruments. Key financial instruments are currently US dollar, right? Also, important one are gold and other metals like platinum, silver. They all gonna be skyrocketing. So you're gonna have huge inflation. You're gonna see a dump of consumer consumption and production also, because oil is gonna be skyrocketing also to maybe $300 dollars per barrel. So it's gonna be huge, and most of the production is gonna be halted in such countries as
unprecedented, beautiful. It's gonna be huge. Like the best
it's gonna be
numbers,
huge.
the biggest numbers, the like amazing.
But
I'm doing
basically,
a
right,
Trump.
currently we have to look at these show with these airstrikes and ground strikes, and not look at the graphs, because the graphs it was also way back in the days. They were saying sell in May and go away, go ahead and rest, have holidays till September, then you go again to trading. Now it's the time to trade because it's summer. It was never like this before. Summer was always cold season for trading, and currently it's just bitcoins, all this stuff. I'm not even talking about other instruments. I'm talking about only gold. And you see this huge spike in oil price when it all started. So basically, Trump was even saying that to the media that he made some money on some, and his friends also made a lot of money. He was even bragging about that, right?
You're talking about the crypto when everybody asked him like, why did you do the pump and dump, and he was like, I like crypto. Crypto is amazing. Crypto is the future. I love it. But he like didn't answer anyone's question.
Yeah, it was like several times he was talking about that, and he was saying word after word. Basically, you can decrypt it like this: we are making money on news, guys, and we made a lot of money, and we are successful. You go ahead, do that same thing. And so people started doing it, and that's why you see all this volatility, which means the graphs are going up and downs each day. You can make a lot of money. But that's also a time for huge margin calls when companies going to go bankrupt and production is going to be halted and so on. So basically, we are at the start of the collapse. Collapse is also 33. That's why it's called this way. I think all these words that we use in our life are made up by these guys, so they also they know what they're trying to kind of program into our minds, like saying 33, 33. Each time you read something, the title, the article, but you get programmed by these 33s. Basically, they say we are in control and you own nothing. And soon you're gonna be happy because you're gonna stay alive, and that's okay. That's for you.
That's all you
What
need.
we need for you. Yeah.
You sent this along. It's a caricature from a newspaper, I would guess. The richest wreck in
That's
history. It says, what is your take on this?
basically this is from Britain. That's what's happening in Britain, the British economy currently. So the rich people abandon the wrecked ship of British economy and take whatever they can take. And guess what's going to be left for the people? Mm, it's going to
Nothing,
be
but they'll be
deep,
happy
deep, deep
because they're
down.
alive.
You have to have a lot of money to get this dive, to get some money from there. But because it's going to be deep, deep, deep on the bottom of the sea, nobody gonna be happy with this. But that's what British think about their economy.
Hmm. A lot of interesting things are happening in Britain. Actually, a lot of interesting things are happening all over the world. It's like the globalists. Do you believe that, like we talked about it before, that there was different groups and different, let's say, clans of these globalists, if not races? But we do you think this infighting that we're seeing between them and like that these old school globalists are basically losing control and they're setting everything on fire, from like making Israel do its thing to like Ukraine to like Pakistan to like everywhere they're like burning, and what's happening in the UK with the riots and in the US with the riots, you know um
Yeah, it's just a large topic to talk about. But basically, you have to know that we are in the reset process. So the reset teams, it could be whoever. We can only guess who is in the reset team, but we have to judge the actions. Okay, so yes, I think probably this guy is also somehow involved, but we cannot just say there's team of that or team of this. This is the level of national politics that you are talking about. I'm talking about the over or you can
overarching
say
overarching
somebody
is
that is
is the word.
higher, that is in
Yeah.
command of the national. So basically, they can juggle both sides and make them
Hmm.
fight. It's just to distract the real from the real events, like this Harry Houdini, who was in the middle of a circus and make an elephant disappear. Just like this is distraction. process of distraction. So yes, there is different side. There are different sides, and they can fight. They can, make us think that somebody's winning, somebody's losing. They can, present all these videos, because most of the things are basically based on the real events that can be staged by this controlling class. So it's not like, oh, it's staged, but yes, sometimes they can miss, sometimes they can, uh, have better results that they expected. For example, with this case with drones in the trucks, right? In Russia it worked perfectly. In Iran also worked perfectly. This pager operation.
Very interesting that you mentioned drones and trucks, and you bring up, because this is the first time that I'm recording and that I'm discussing that topic. That like the similarities, let's say, between what happened in Russia and what happened in Iran. It's almost like the Israelis are controlling Ukrainians, not Khazarians.
Yeah, these guys are the same guys as you and me. They watch movies and they take a look at these. For example, a movie that the people were locked up somewhere, and they were like, just call the special agent this, and he can blow up all these cellular phones of the people that they were attacking them outside of the room. Brand new movie. Probably we've discussed the name of it. I just don't remember all these
It
names.
sounds familiar, but
Yeah,
it's
jackpot
unimportant now.
something, jackpot. I think.
Maybe,
Uh,
maybe.
yeah, you can watch it. This was made not that long ago, so I mean that was the script. So I was talking about that. I sent you the video. I was talking about it like in 2020, when I was saying that the cellular phones can be used to kill people, and so it was I would say it was scripted from the very beginning. So all these devices that we have, they can kill, they can spy on us, they can all dual purposes devices. Otherwise they won't be produced by anyone or invented, because all the inventions that are good for the people, they are not getting much visibility and media coverage. All the technologies that have dual purpose, they all be promoted. They all, for example, cars. What is bad in cars? These
Hmm.
exhaust, which is ruining the lungs of the people, which is ruining. You can even get killed if you leave your car in the garage. Basically, staying there in the garage, and if your garage is closed and no ventilation, you get yourself killed. Right? It's a suicide,
Yeah.
for example. For many people do. But what I'm saying is just what they let us buy in the shops and the stores. It's all dual purposes, and can be used for us to get spied on, to take the information from inside our homes or wherever. So even the heater radiators, can be used to make surveillance in the room from outside of the building. You have certain devices that are scanning these heater systems, and calculating the information they get from these vibrations in the room, and can draw a certain TV signal, radio signal, whatever, and you can listen and watch what's happening in the room if you didn't know that. So LCD screens
Hmm.
also can
Yep.
do that. That's why
And
there are so
Wi-Fi.
many LCD screens.
And Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi,
like in the Batman movie, there was like a Batman movie where like his butler guy, I forgot his name now. Um, he made him a program where basically he had sonar with Wi-Fi from everybody's devices, and that's real. It was real then. Um, but yeah, I want to move on a little bit from sci-fi to activism, and you sent some pictures of Greta. We've got this. Look at the smug look on her face. This girl does not want to save Gaza, and she wants flowers and attention. What is your let's say why did you send along this prompt?
there was also another meme when she, if you find it in the list I sent you, when she is riding the bicycle. Yeah, So that's like a two-step joke. So basically, she fucked up there and then goes to Iran now, and so it's,
I saw yesterday. I saw yesterday. Two majors. It's too early in the morning for me to be working. So, like subscribers, I'm sorry that I'm even slower than usual. But yeah, that she should be going to Kazakhstan to like save the horses, and because the Kazakhs are drinking horse milk, and
don't ruin our joke, man. Don't ruin it.
I don't know. That's what I saw yesterday. In any case, we have some Newsweek here. Let's see why this is here. Trump sends in the troops. Dun, dun. California. What's your take on what's going on in the U.S.?
So basically, you know what Trump was promising. The first couple of weeks he was in power, he was supposed to end war in Ukraine, make everybody pay for the tariffs and all this stuff like this. And currently, he didn't accomplish any of these goals.
But
Basically, he's
but I'm
making
gonna
one
be
step forward, two steps back, one step forward, two steps back. So it's just a dance for us, and this is for distraction, because these people in the other team, they also play the same game as as Trump. They want to currently we have a situation in the economy, so they have to blame something that's going to happen on somebody. So Trump's going to be the guy like Biden before, with these inflation case that Biden had in first year, and with high oil prices and high gasoline prices for gallon, like $7 for gallon in California. So something like this. So Trump's going to be blamed for this, and he was picked for this case actually. So that's why there's gonna, and it's also Elon Musk case, right? When they were trying to kind of debunking
argue
what
with each
Trump
other.
was. And so, yeah, it's just another one just to distract that he didn't accomplish anything that he was supposed to
Whoa.
accomplish. And their beef for 2 days, and then it got over just like this. Like Elon deleted all these tweets, right? When he was saying Trump's in the list of Epstein list, right, and so on. This was like he's saying like, yeah, I got out of control. Trump, basically, Elon Musk is as a drug abuse person. He's another Harry Houdini, I would say, because he's like distracting us with all this media coverage about him and his accomplishments, but if you really take a look at this is all a big scam, just another stock market scam, another bubble that's going to be popped very soon. And plenty of people who put their money in the papers like Tesla and so on, in the stocks like this, they're gonna be disappointed, I would say, at least, because their money is gonna disappear. So this is all just stage for the future reset. All these projects like going to Mars, just distraction for us. Nobody's gonna go anywhere as it was before. Nobody gonna go anywhere unless you have a Hollywood studio and basement where you can film all this stuff. Yes, they're working on it. They have
That's
pretty
I've
good.
been saying I've been saying that's why they want AI, and that's why they
Yeah,
want Greenland.
exactly.
This is
Yeah, exactly.
so they can go to the moon in Greenland.
Yeah, exactly. Just like China, just like India, all these projects just to distract their populations from what's actually happening in the countries. That countries are still poor. They have a lot of problems. A lot of people there are living in poverty and dependent on the states. They just want to get rid of these mouths that always want to eat something. And so East California is the same place, and that's why it's picked for this start of the riots, because so many homeless people there, so many immigrants. So borders are basically open, and you can, whatever flag they can bring in, Mexican, Argentinian, whatever. It's all just a big operation to distract, I think. But Texas
Um,
also, the place
about
where riots were happening, right? And I
Yeah.
was talking about Texas because Texas has independent energy structure. That's why
Infrastructure.
Texas,
Yeah.
yeah, they have their own
They're
circle of
separate
power,
from. Yeah. Their grid. Their electrical grid is separate from the U.S.
electrical grid. Yeah,
General. Yeah.
yeah. That's why they want to
Um.
split East, West, and Texas. That's the case in the media that it's going to be, in trends for years because they're going to be discussing this separation of Texas or the separation of California or just separation of West Coast, separation of East Coast. It's going to be in trends very soon, just like Civil War movie that
I
we
was
had
just gonna
last
say.
year.
I was just
Yeah,
gonna say like Civil War.
yeah, just it's all like this. They all watch the Hollywood movies. They all are on. They are hooked on Hollywood and the scripts the Hollywood
I have
produce.
to.
And so,
I have to ask you a question about the whole two steps forward, two steps back, one step forward with Trump. Um, do you think that it's possible? You know, he said I'm gonna finish the Ukraine war, um, and then in the last, let's say, month, Trump has been saying, you know, Putin is crazy, and Putin is gonna have to go do what he has to do because Zelensky is even more crazy because he's just sabotaging the things. And then all of a sudden Israel happens, and then all of a sudden the protests happen, and like nobody cares about Ukraine anymore. And then Putin can do whatever he wants. So technically, and then we have peace, you know, at Putin's terms. So technically, I think Trump kind of like did help that thing get along, you know?
yeah, on the national level, if you think about only on the national level, which is not controlled by something from above, yes, of course, you can probably I would say decrypt this
Decipher,
script. Describe
describe.
or
Yeah.
decrypt may when it's
Hmm.
encrypted, you have to decrypt the script. So if you decrypt the script, of course, you lose in Ukraine, so you have to win somewhere else. So of course that's gonna match this one and even more because Israel is more favored in US than Ukraine. So if you help Israel to win the war, of course you're gonna be the winner. And this American disorder is nothing else than just distraction from his situation current because he's pushed to enter the war with Iran. So he's probably going to make some decision to attack Iran or maybe help Israel attack Iran
They're already
openly.
sending they're already sending the tankers now as we record. By the
Yeah,
way, for
of
everybody's
course.
record, it is the 16th of the 6th, 2025, as we
Yeah.
record this.
So I'm not even surprised they're sending it because it's all been they're just doing it in case Iran cuts off the oil supply from the Persian Gulf, and the Houthis in the south cutting the Red Sea or the logistics of that Red Sea. So this is in case of that. So if that scenario is working, you have this backup plan B with aircraft carriers of Britain and
Mhm.
United States to help the Saudis in Turkish and Azerbaijan, which are already helping not to get involved in the war as much as Israel already did, because nobody wants Dubai or some other big city experience these hypersonic missiles and ballistic, grounding of of
What do
these
you mean
missiles because
nobody?
it's
What do you
pretty
mean nobody?
impressive.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fucking Arabs who are like, please send one to Dubai, please send one to Lebanon. Also, like, you know,
The the United Emirate of Britain and Northern Ireland is gonna help their brothers. Believe me, although their ears are still sticking out these Israeli operations, they
Hmm.
also help the Arabian establishment to not to get involved because if they're the guarantee, if all these countries are get messed up, just like Tel Aviv or something like this, all these cities that are been attacked already and have the retaliation strikes. If Dubai, for example, has this type of strike, what's going to happen to the world economy? All these rich people that invested in all these skyscrapers, this is impossible for them to think, oh, that islands and their real estate,
Hmm.
which is valuable for them, is going to be destroyed. No one wants it. So basically, they want to keep it contained just in case anybody in Iran could ask themselves, why are we so soft on Israel? Or maybe we should strike other allies of them, like Azerbaijan, which is providing airspace for the attacks of Turkey and Syria, and you name it, Jordan, the coalition of the good, which are helping Israel to hit down the drones of Iran. So basically, that's the case.
Man,
That's why it's been
Jordan,
canceled.
Jordan hitting,
Jordan,
chasing
yeah,
drones is
Jordan.
like, what are you crazy? Like, um, and all those people who said, Bashar al-Assad is bad and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This couldn't have happened if Syria was still a
One
country.
more thing. One more thing. That
Hmm.
Semite anti-Semitism is not about Jewish. Anti-Semitism is also about Arabs because
Listen,
they
we
also
will have
survive.
no Hezbollah
Yeah,
propaganda here. It's
yeah,
conspiracy theories that you're talking about.
yeah.
Hezbollah and Hamas, they're
So
terrorist
basically,
organizations.
it's just like Ukraine and Russia. It's just brother nations. So it's
It's a
not
favorite.
Judophobia. It's just phobia against both nations, both Jewish and Arabian nations. So, so you don't have to do any anti-Semitism there, but they are also in the same hand of control and basically are controlled from one center.
Listen, I think you have been watching too many movies, and I think we should get back to some real life things. Um, this was brought up in chat a while ago when what's it called? Long before we decided to record. Um, the case of interesting children. Um, Adolf Hitler, Angela Merkel, Fidel Castro, Trudeau, and Crowley, Barbara Bush. Believe it or not. Um,
Yeah,
and somebody sent this in chat long ago, and I was like, Philip will definitely have something to say. I'll definitely bring this up next time I talk to him. So I want to get your take on these little three stories.
I am not, the guy who researches the ancestry of these people, but actually, I was taking a look at Aleister Crowley and Barbara Bush case, or
Hmm.
whatever her name is. Yes, it has some ground because the guy was actually visiting. Oh, not the guy. The mother of Barbara Bush was visiting Aleister Crowley in Italy. I think he was living there at that time. So something like this. I might be wrong. Just check me, fact check me. So she was visiting the place where Aleister Crowley was located and was very praised as a leader, as a spiritual leader. So whatever what they were doing there. So it has some ground, but the other two ones I've never checked them, and so, unless you have a likeness of the face, you also have to have some ground, some historical data that can prove that these people and their parents did intersect in some reason, or you have to prove that these people were just kind of produced in a special facilities as using somebody else as a carrier, whatever you call it
Oh,
on this podcast. Yeah.
I don't know. Surrogate mother is what you're talking about, but the point
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like with
yeah, something like
artificial
this.
insemination. But the point is, who was it? There was this like country in the 30s. They were doing all these experiments with like having a new race. I can't remember what the country was. They had this like
You
red and
mean
black flag.
you mean the guy with the small mustaches? He was,
Yeah, he was
had
like an
a
artist
lot
or
of
something.
followers.
He was
Yeah,
like an
his
artist or
name.
something.
He was yeah, Austrian, unsuccessful artist with the small
Mm.
mustaches. Who,
Speaking of Austrian unsuccessful artists, did you hear that an art university in Austria admitted an AI to be an art student? When I saw that, I was like, please don't fail the AI. Like they're
of
provoking.
course,
They're provoking stuff immediately. You sent this along also. Do you want to tell us what this is?
So these are American communists, and I think 1938 or something. And take a look who they were having as their top
Jefferson?
face.
Is that Jefferson?
Lincoln. That's
Lincoln?
Lincoln. Yeah.
If you say
So
so, I don't know.
Lenin, Stalin, and Lincoln, that's their heroes. So basically, when you hear somebody talking about Lincoln, you have to remember this.
You
That
have to remember
Lincoln,
that they might be communist.
they might be communist, so new witch hunt is coming up. So whoever was mentioning Lincoln in the future, he is in danger. Think about it.
And this is some Democraterne brings a knife to a
Yeah.
gunfight. What's this from?
Basically, this is just a image
Oh,
that
it says
is
MAGA.
representing,
Okay.
yeah, representing Trump clan versus International Monetary System or whatever clan. He was trying to push off the Jerome Powell, but he was actually the guy who was, putting him in power when he had a first term. Powell was brought by Trump, and so currently he has some tensions with Jerome Powell. And I don't know why is that, but basically it's another distraction coming up of financial crisis just to have somebody to blame. Trump's gonna blame Powell, Powell's gonna blame Trump, and so on and so forth. You know,
Um,
it's just
this image that you sent along reminded me of the Trump's parade for the 250
yeah.
years of the U.S. Army or USA or
His
whatever it was.
birthday parade. His
If you want to
birthday.
if you want to call it that, I think the best thing about the parade was Melania. Everything else was just like no comment.
Yeah.
Your take?
As an agent of Putin, I only watch Putin's parades. I don't even watch Belarusian parades. So don't tell me anything about that parade because I'm Putin's agent.
You don't watch even North Korean parades? How come?
When because I'm busy with making clips about Putin, praising Putin, and so on. So that's why people started to ask me, "Why did you do a video with Putin, a clip on Putin?" I sent you also this video.
Yeah.
You've taken a look. Nothing complimentary there, I would say, but just a joke, I would say. But people
Yeah.
thinking I'm an agent now. No, I'm not
Obviously,
stuck
you're an
in the
agent.
basement. And I'm not here in KGB anymore. I've been kicked out of there when I start talking about this, basically. Yeah.
Hold on, I have that video. I opened it up. I'm gonna play it in the background.
Don't ruin the joke.
All right, and then I'll leave a link to the rest of the
Yeah,
video
just leave a
below.
link if somebody is interested. They can watch it. So it's just my reaction to how long this guy is in power, and maybe of how other people in other countries might think that he is better than somebody else, because the text there is representing what I'm saying. So yes, he's better probably than Walking Dead Biden. He's probably better than Starmer. He's probably better than most of these leaders you see in the video,
Hmm.
but still a lot of questions to him and what he does, and we have to judge only actions, not words, not the media
Hmm.
picture. That's what I was saying. I was always complimentary about his actions in revealing the ancient past when he was talking about Tartarian maps, all this stuff. They was talking
Mm-hmm.
about history. Yes, I think it's good for the people to know the history, the real history, and what he's actually trying to do to save himself is not the thing to praise. Yes, he's doing what he's doing. He's trying to do to save his life, basically, because
But
you
also,
know
I
that
think it's a little
people can
bigger than
disappear
just
very
saving
easy.
himself.
Ask Iranian generals how fast is going on. So you have to do what you have to do just to stay alive. Yeah, that's what it is.
Um,
That's the game.
no pressure. If you guys want to contribute to the Working Brother, you can buy me a coffee or you can join the Patreon. Everybody who has
Uh,
bought me a coffee or joined the Patreon, thank you. And now that's
uh,
out of the way. I just wanted
or
to
or or
remind
or
everyone. Go on.
Or go to this Department of State in the United States and find the short link in the bottom right corner, the Working Brother donation. There you can find the QR code. I did find it
um,
there.
if what's it called? If it exists, it's news to me. They owe me my paycheck, and
You
also,
have to zoom it all the way. Zoom it all the way.
um, you sent a caricature also of the media, which is, the Soviet Russian bear, who we talk to generally often here, posted the other day that he has a new theory that basically whoever the Western media supports, they are the ones who are in the wrong in any conflict. Like it should be. What's your take on what's happening in Africa with Traore and the whole kicking the French out and the whole like nationalizing the mining industry and so on and so forth? Burkina
As I've been
Faso.
saying many years before, it's all because of mining. So basically, why they need us all? They need the territory to mine, and why they need people just to work on the mining industry. Because where all this stuff goes, nobody knows. Actually, United States cannot even audit the golden stocks
What do
it
you mean
has for
nobody
years.
knows? The gold is going to Nibiru to help with the atmosphere of Nibiru.
Oh,
You don't you
really? Really? Yeah. I think that other article that I sent you about Antarctica is kind of
We'll get to
revealing
it. We'll get to it.
a little bit of truth about that question, because where it all goes, it might be going some other places where you cannot just go there. But these scientists went to Antarctica to scan the radio waves there. I don't know why. And we
Times of
have already
India
a little, yeah, Times of India and many other, um,
outlets, yeah.
unrespectful outlets, these fake news outlets, they all posted this. What is this all about? Because of some leak. There was a leak about that in the scientific community, because people started to wonder what the hell is going on in Antarctica. Why do we keep on gaining these signals there? It's like 30 degrees below the ground or something. If it doesn't add up in this current model that we have, because it just might be dissolved or disappear in such huge amounts of soil and minerals. These radio waves cannot pass through, but they do. And so they even send currently the airplane to scan all these area to find out where these radio waves are coming from. Why are they coming from below the ground? What is happening there? And remember about the guy with the small mustaches who like going to the new Swabia, and all these
And
people
and
that
and
went
uh, had
after
that
him.
submarine. They had that submarine that sent the last
Submarine
message. We
stations,
found the
yeah.
passage. Um, I don't know what you're
That
talking about. No.
well-known Admiral Byrd of United States in the 50s, that was filmed many of times, that he was saying,
With
yes, we went there to find out where these German submarines were going through, but some strange objects jumped out of the ocean and started attacking us, when we immediately fled the area so we won't get
For
captured
those
or
who don't
something.
know, Admiral Byrd, spelled Byrd, if you want to look it up. And also, he had the biggest post World War II military flotilla when he went down to the Antarctic. So, like, just,
Yeah,
random things to think about.
there was also one colonel that gave interview about this stuff, close to Antarctica conspiracy mystery stuff, and I also posted that on my channel when I started the channel, and I totally, transcribed all these interviews, and was translated it in English for the people. There's other guy I know, also 33 guy, who posted a book about this, even getting all these archives there all together, and researching both American, British, German, and Soviet documents about all this case. And so they found out that the submarines that were searching for the Hitler submarines, for the German submarines, went even further underneath this ice, And so they got somewhere for 3 days. They were floating, and then somebody started to attack him also, just like Admiral Byrd's case. So they ran away, they fled the area because they were to be destroyed there. And so nobody went there after. But some journals, some diaries of officers of German submarines were also posted there, and very interesting to read all this information, because I always like to believe that somebody is beyond this, or Antarctica, and so probably there are somebody, and so they gain the resources from us, and probably they are keeping all this water here just to rob us, like we do. Uh, I mean, the civilization that we have, the capitalism, we robbed the third world countries for years, so-called colonies, right? People are getting nothing. Some elites are getting some. And so everybody's happy because the media shows everybody's happy. And that's okay. That's it. That's the
it's
system.
it's always good to talk to an optimist. The
Yep.
America Party. You also sent this along. That was Musk trying to show that's before he made peace with Trump and after his first Epstein thing.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted to highlight, basically, that by accident
Yeah.
America Party is also 33.
It's not by accident. They all have advisors in public relations, and all these posted only on some calendar of posts. You have to understand that that's a task book that they receive each day from Department of State, and they correlate their titles and names that they use to get in the title of certain articles, press releases, and so on, videos. And you can even see the composure of these titles with 33s, 39s, 90s, and other 33 second level
You're
coding.
crazy,
So
man. You're crazy.
yes, I am. Yes, I'm a Putin's spy. That's why I'm so crazy.
That's right. It's because you live in Russia. That's what made you
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
all these conspiracy theories. It must be
These
that.
Russians were beaten by Tartarians. Those Tartarians were beaten by Empire of Rosh people, and those Empire of Rosh people were beaten by the ancestors of Putin. That's why we so crazy.
um, HKU5COV2, also 33 and 36 by accident. Um, what is this thing? This is the new
That's
COVID?
also new COVID that was found somewhere in China, and it's more deadly than the one before. So you might as well go and buy yourself a bunch of toilet
Masks?
paper and, of course, I haven't got rid of those masks before, so I am not going to
You
buy
still have
masks. I'm
masks to
going only
spare,
for
huh?
only for towels and paper. That's the
Uh,
things that are gonna help me to survive this thing.
the apocalypse, yeah, definitely. And don't forget to make sure you paid your internet subscriptions so that you can download all the propaganda and send your own views about selfies as the mushroom clouds explode. Do you think we're gonna get to World War III with this Iran-Israel thing? Like, do you think it's gonna spread, or do you think it's gonna calm down?
It's like a mental disorder or something. I'm thinking I'm in 2012 or 2013, and you asking me this. Yes, soon, next year is gonna happen. Yeah, yeah. 2014, yeah, something like this. Currently, it's 2025. It's obvious to everybody that we are in a state of war, and I don't know, this capitalism agenda and socialism agenda. This is just two hands of the same man who is operating their puppets and so on, doing like this. So they have the same goal, just erasing nationalities, erasing certain races because they're too expensive for them. So they want a multiracial community which doesn't have any roots, which has only culture, the culture they promote to. And this is not the culture we used to have in the 19th century, 20th century. It's the new type of culture, the culture of consumption, the culture of uh, a culture of order, I would say, because it's going to be looking like order, and people going to be segregated in certain classes, certain castes. One caste is going to be some type of elite caste, and the other three is going to be a servant. The first one, so that's
One of
already
the things you
happening.
sent, one of the things you
Ah,
sent
this is
was
just
this black and white photo. You mentioned Tartaria, so I wanted to bring it up. I'm guessing that is what this is. No?
no, it happened a little bit after that, like a couple of 100 years. But this is 1920, I think, or 1919,
Okay.
I think. It's This is a bridge from Kiev in Kiev, and that's what Polish troops left, Soviet troops when they left Kiev. So basically, Kiev was occupied by Germans and by Polish. So that's a kind of historical circle which we have right now. Also, Kiev is currently occupied by NATO, and Poland is one of the biggest supporter of Ukraine. Currently, is stepping away from it and started to
Trying
criticize
to.
because the new guy came, the guy who is breaking up all these pictures.
That's
One
right,
one of
George. I forgot. I
I've
forgot those videos. I forgot. Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot we have those videos queued. Hold on. Let me play the first one, and put it here, both plus TV, and then let me turn up the volume on this thing. Okay. Generally speaking, whenever he comes on, like Zelia, or Netanyahu, it's like I'm hearing like a demon from another world speak. Like I just like generally tune it out. I don't listen. Like over the time of the like whole special military operation, I think altogether I've heard like 4 minutes of Zelensky talk. You know what I mean? Like I purposefully mute it usually, but I'll let you guys have the pleasure of listening to what he has to say.
Такий час, коли який дуже
Just
сильно
take it.
може вплинути на можливість закінчення війни і може сильно вплинути. І я вважаю, що як би там це не звучало, я вважаю, що президент Трамп, він знаходиться посередині. І він може вплинути, а може не вплинути. Руські зроблять все, щоб Америка не впливала.
Man, his like speech
He's high.
is
He's high.
wasted. He's not high. He's
Yes, he's
wasted. He's like,
wasted. Yeah, yeah.
just
That's another example.
Ну, будуть підігрівати.
talk. I'll let him do his thing, but on mute. But I'll let you talk.
So basically, this guy is played card. Is a played card already. I've also made a video, the video clip on that. You also seen it, like Vova. It's over. So that's the time when you have this project is finished, because when you see this guy is totally wasted on the TV, and he's not even ashamed of it, so in some way, you're gonna have to understand. Soon they're gonna release all the information about his corruption schemes. Soon, if he is not gonna follow the orders, or something gonna happen wrong with him, or maybe somebody wants to terminate him. That's the case, because they control him totally. They even guarding him. All these MI6 people, these British agents that are all around him every time he goes anywhere. So that's the case. He's gonna be destroyed. He's gonna be the victim of Russian aggression and gonna be played out as Navalny or something like this. I think maybe not now, maybe a little bit later, but for the media, he's over. And that's why Polish is stepping away. Look at this one. That's the
This is
case.
a classic. This is a classic. No, no
He's
need to stop.
wasted. He's high. He is in the EU building, and he is disgracing them. Look at this.
What else do we got here? This is a subway. I'm guessing it's
And that's for the people who doesn't know that Ukraine has Nazis. They even have a train painted in Nazi Nazi battalion. They have. Nazi
crazy
division.
Russian propaganda. Those are freedom-loving fans of nuts.
These guys have the most support from the West, and they even been their support were even halted at certain point when U.S. Congress found out that they sending money to Nazis. No way, and so they
This was
even
I
um,
think you're talking like 2012 or something, 2013, like
20
the Azov.
2017, 2018, that was then they were halting the aid to this battalion. They were even mentioning, do not give this aid that we send you to this battalion, and so on. And now, right now, it's currently is a division. So division is like 4 or 5 battalions inside. So it's a huge amount of people. And that's a guy from Poland, new president of
The
Poland.
Polish right-wing extremist leader.
And he also is disappointed about Ukraine because he says Ukraine has to admit they killed Polish people. They made genocide activities in while collaborating with Hitler,
The
and
Volhynia
so
massacre is what you're
yeah,
talking about.
well, massacre, yeah, and other massacres. There were plenty of them, and so
Well,
that's the guy, and that's probably why they live in Kiev now. Currently, is a circle of what I've been showing out in the video when they burned and destroyed all the bridges when they left. So that's even symbolic. Destroying the bridges, meaning burning the bridges in Russian
in English it
a
means the same thing. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
meaning
a
that
symbol of like
bye
cutting
bye,
off. Yeah, yeah,
cutting
cutting
off
off
the yeah.
relations. Yeah.
Yeah, leaving the Afghan case, the Vietnam case, this all the same, you know. Helicopters flying, this motherfucker's dying, you know.
Um, Philipp Druzhinin, it's good to see you again. It was an excellent talk. We are coming up on the 1 hour mark. I've got one last graphic that you sent of Trump turning out, turning off these international wars that you. But I'm gonna leave that just for the end. I want to ask you: is there anything that you want to leave as like a goodbye message to viewers, and you know, like your motivational speech at the end that you want to leave people with a good feeling after this talk.
Well,
even
what can I
even
say? I'm totally cut off from YouTube. I'm totally cut off from all the other sources. You probably I'll try to keep this posted on my channel too, but you know, your subscribers need to know if they haven't bought themselves some silver and gold. They don't have a long-term guarantee to be a guy who can go to a bakery and buy himself a bread soon. So think about that. Think about your future in financial term. I mean, so look, this happening. It's happening. Anytime you open up the media source, Telegram channels you follow in the morning, you can see soon that something's happening near your town. Okay, that's why the reset is not done simultaneously everywhere. It's done this there there is just like in a random, not even, you know, somebody can see some pattern there, but I see is a as a I represent it as a rather random territory occurrence case. You can have it in Britain, you can have it in Turkey, you can have it in Russia, you can have it
They
in
have to
Ukraine, you
they
can
have
have
to
it in
make money in
Korea.
between. They have to make money while
Yeah,
separate, like like with the exchange courses and everything. So yeah, like you said,
you have to be in friends with Donald Trump to know when or where is gonna happen. As I said, his friends made money, and we are not in his friend list. We don't have his telephone, we don't have his signal, and so on. So we are not
Even
so lucky.
in Yahoo, it seems like he's not in his friends list anymore because he's been trying to call him for 2 days and can't get through. In any case, like he said, this is not financial advice, but it is bartering advice for the future.
Yeah,
uh,
buy yourself guns, powder, gold, and silver. That's can maybe some seeds for your future. You know.
yeah, seeds are important too. All right, everyone. Good to have you here. We're almost on the hour. Philip, again, thank you for stopping by. This was excellent. We will talk again. Everyone, peace out. See you later.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Ciao.